Again, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation on iManage Work 10, New Generation Experience for Law Firms. As we know, the professional services landscape is changing from the professional to the new client to the new way of working. Law firms are under increasing pressure to adapt to evolving workplace and client demands, while effectively enabling the creation, sharing, governance, security of their organization's work product. Today's session, we'll make sure and make that available to you later. Before I introduce our primary presenter, I just wanted to do a quick introduction of myself and Innovative Computing Systems. Innovative has been working with law firms since 1989, around 2 years now. Michael Kemp's our founder, and I have both worked in the legal community since adolescence, actually. I'm Ted Glutz. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing at Innovative. I've been working with attorneys and IT professionals for about 36 years now. The last 25 years is legal technology specifically. I'm really glad to be joined today by professionals over at iManage. Excited the next in document management. So with that, we're glad to Seth Dumore and Trevor Mathias of iManage. With further delay, I'll turn to Scott.
All right. Thank you very much, Ted. Appreciate that introduction. Thank you all for joining us today. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to present this material. Hopefully you'll find it compelling. And again, very big thanks to Innovative for hosting us today. So those of you that don't know, who is iManage? iManage has been around a long time. We've been in the legal market for the last 20 years. We're worldwide. We've been through a lot. For those of you that have been with us for at least some of that time, we started out as iManage once upon a time back in the late 90s. I joined the company in 2001 myself, so not quite my adolescence, but pretty close. Went through some acquisitions, as I said. We became Interwoven, then we became Autonomy, then we became HP, and we're very, very happy that 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, we took ourselves private again and once again became iManage and reclaimed our brand and reclaimed our role, I like to say. So for those of you that have stuck with us throughout that time, thank you. And hopefully today is a good illustration of what we've accomplished just in those 2 years. Speaking to that, if you attended ILTA this year, we were honored. First time in 20 years, we were awarded ILTA's Innovative Solution Provider of the Year. We were very excited about that. It was a big honor for us, and really appreciate giving us that award, but the credit goes to you, to our customer base. We wouldn't be here without you, and we couldn't do it without your support. So, what does iManage do? I'm going to go ahead and slide out here so we can talk about it. But when you look at the iManage solution, there's really 3 main areas that we're focused on. Our core work product management solution, iManage Work, formerly known as Worksite, is what the vast majority of our legal customers are running today. So when you look at iManage Work and iManage Share, which is our cloud collaborative solution, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that really makes up our main productivity suite. But we do a lot more. We do more than just document management or work product management, as we like to call it. Recently, back in April, acquired a company called Raven, based out of the UK. They're an artificial intelligence company. They bring a lot of things to the table, and today's presentation is not focused on it, but suffice it to say, it's doing our product suite in some new and exciting directions. iManage Insight, which is enterprise search and knowledge management. iManage Classify, the ability to automatically classify content based on information within it. And then iManage Extract, which allows us to do some really exciting things, extracting information, clause management, and so forth. I've also made great strides in the area of security and governance. iManage Records Manager has always been our core records management and governance solution, but within the last year and a half, we've introduced iManage Security Policy Manager, which, to sum it up, is an ethical wall solution. iManage Threat Manager, which allows us to focus on threats internal to your environment. So things that are already inside the perimeter, illicit activity, being able to detect, attorneys that might be leaving your firm, and things like that. So it allows you to really focus on threats that are internalized as opposed to securing the perimeter, which is what we're normally focused on when we talk about security. And all this is built on the iManage platform, which of course can be run on premises as a traditional solution or in the iManage cloud, which we're going to talk about in more detail later in the presentation. The iManage solution from an end user standpoint, that really, I think, is where iManage has arrived its success. We're a very end user driven product. We are a solution that sits on the desk of every attorney in your firm. And we've been around a long time. And what we recognize is that having been around a long time puts us in a unique position where we really have two personas, as we like to call it. We have the classic user. This is the person that's been using iManage for many, many years, possibly decades. They know what they like. They know how they like to work. And they much like our classic user experience. We also have what we call the new professional. And the new professional is someone who likes to be on the go, who likes to have the same functionality no matter where they are. So whether the desktop, whether they're on their phone, whether they're on their tablet, they want to have and they expect to have the exact same functionality available to them, whether they're, again, in the office or using an app on their phone. So we developed iManage Work 10, which is our latest release. We developed with this in mind. How do we cater to both of these personas? How do we make sure that we still provide a solution that is adequate and sufficient and to the classic user, as well as providing that new experience for those users who now have the heightened expectation of mobility and so forth. And that's really what Work 10 is all about. What you'll see in the demo today is how we've evolved the solution to be able to accommodate these two personas. So what this is really all about is adoption. Okay, so as I like to tell people, any IT project, any technology project, it can be a project in the world. The implementation can best you've ever done, but if you don't adopt it, if they don't actually use it, it's a failure, and it's a fact. So we want to make sure that you're successful. We want to make sure your end users are successful. We want to be successful, and in order to do that, we have to drive user adoption. So all these things that I have on the slide here along the side, collaboration and security and agility and productivity, these are all wonderful things, but they're all means to an end. And it is user adoption. How do we make a product that users actually want to use? And you'll see in the demo today, hopefully illustrate the steps we've taken to make sure that we do that. It was quite a process getting there. When you take a look at the process we followed, it was different, quite frankly, from the we've developed software in the past. iManage Work 10, first and foremost, starting at the left here, was designed by users. We sat down with attorneys, watched how they did, different activities as they went through the day, and we developed a product that mimicked the way they worked, as opposed to something that forces them to work the way the product works. I realized, as I said before, that it needed to be mobile first. We needed to provide the same functionality and experience on a mobile device that we do on the desktop. So the solution is smart. And what I mean by that is that we need to be able to anticipate what users want to do. Rather than taking all the cues from the user, we know enough about our user base and how lawyers like to work and how legal secretaries like to work to be able to start to anticipate some of the things that they need. So as you look at the demo, you'll see some of these coming to light. And of course, it needs to be easy to use. Think of something like Amazon.com. Everybody knows how to use Amazon. You can go shopping on Amazon and very quickly narrow down your results. The question becomes, why isn't it that easy to use my work product management or my document management solution? Why shouldn't I be able to find the agreement that I've been drafting just as easily as I can shop for a new iPhone case? It really is all that really is what it's all about. And the aspect to this is our expectations have changed as far as usability goes. We're all used to downloading applications now on our mobile device. We download an app on our phone or on a tablet, and we don't have to go to training. We don't want to go sit in a half day or a full day training to learn how to use that app. Our expectation is we should be productive with it right from the time we download it. And if we're not, what do? We delete it and we try something else. So that is the expectation when we talk of ease of use that we had to develop iManage Work 10 for. And then finally, tuned for today's information volumes. Sounds like marketing speak, but it's really not. What I mean by that is that iManage traditionally has been hampered by limits. You had a limit in the number of recent documents that you could see. You had a limit in the number of documents that would come back in a search. You had a limit on the number of documents that you would see inside of a folder or emails that have been filed. We've done away with those limits. And in order to do that, we had to completely rebuild the architecture and come up with a whole new API and a new way of doing things, and then surface that now in the new user experience. So you'll see that as I go through the demonstration. Little quick sneak peek here at iManage Work 10 if you haven't seen it before. It's a completely reimagined user experience for iManage. Very much is geared to those different tasks and workflows that we observed when we sat down and watched our end users and watched attorneys go through the product and use it. And there's lots of things that are great about it. The search is top-notch, as you'll see in the demo. We provide contextual help, again, going back to that whole idea of not having to go to training or going to less training. I'm able to provide everything in line when you need it in a decluttered user experience, replacing a lot of arcane and busy profile forms or search forms with Amazon-like filtering. These are all the things that we leveraged and brought to the table in order to create this new user experience. Start diving under the hood a little bit. I'll go a little bit technical here and talk about some we've done on the platform to make all this a reality. And there's a few interesting things here to call out. One of those is file journaling. Something we've been asked about for many years is I'd like to have a trash bin when I come in an iManage rather than it just being gone. A trash bin so that I can come back and recycle it or recover it at some point in time. So part of that, or that's built on our file journaling capability. And what file journaling does is much more than just drive the trash bin. What file journaling allows us to do is basically keep a snapshot of documents at different points as it goes through its life cycle. So at any point in time, you can go back and you can see, for example, what a document looked like at the time it was emailed 3 months ago or 6 months ago, or a document was actually rendered to a PDF at a certain point 3 weeks ago. What did it actually look like at that point? So it captures snapshots of the document combined with the activities to go back and see the entire life cycle of the document visually. We do a lot around security. We now fully support single sign-on. So whether you're using something like Active Directory Federation services or any of the other numerous SAML 2.0 SSO providers, you now have the ability to leverage those. If you know what that is, that's fine. But if you do know what that is, you know that this is very important. The ability for you now to manage your user logins in iManage alongside all of your solutions in your enterprise is kind of key. And then a next generation API or application programming interface. This is what drives that ability for us to eliminate the limits, as I was talking about just a little bit earlier. The new RESTful API is a modern, fast, very scalable, very lightweight way of interacting with the system that uses web standards. What that means is that not only do you get better performance and the elimination of those limits, as I said before, but it reduces the footprint on the desktop. So now do desktop upgrades and you're rolling out iManage on the desktop. You have a much lighter weight installation. The integrations into things like Microsoft Office have less DLLs, less things that can go wrong, less things that you need to configure, and you just end up with a much more upgrade process and ultimately low total cost of ownership when you're deploying iManage. And of course, at Innovative, appreciate this as well. It ultimately makes their job easier when they're implementing the iManage solution for on-premises customers. If you're familiar with our email management solution, this is something that's been core to the product for many, many years. And this gets new treatment in iManage Work 10 as well. First and foremost, you're familiar with FileSite, which for many years has been our go-to integration with iManage Outlook and a core part of our email management solution. With 10.02, which is our latest release, we now offer the ability to viably replace FileSite. And it comes in the form of an updated Outlook add-in. I'll show you this in the demonstration, but this add-in now is built on that new architecture, that new API that I was just talking about, and provides all the same capabilities in a much more user-friendly and I think much more lightweight integration solution. We've done some other interesting things, the ability to file one email to multiple locations now. If you're an IP or trademark attorney, that's something that would be important to you. Attachment handling, the ability to look at an attachment and know exactly what managed document it might have originally came from, so you can automatically bring it in as the next version. And then I said before, just the general ability to reduce the footprint inside of Outlook to make integration more lightweight and easier to deal with, but at the same time provide the same level or even improved functionality is all part of what we've done in Work 10. Same thing applies to our general office integration. When you look at Microsoft Word, for example, what you'll see in the demonstration is that we have the exact same capabilities as we had previously, but now all built on that new Work 10 user experience and that new 10 API, which makes things much lighter weight and easier to manage. The offline capability in Work 10 is also streamlined. So what you'll see is that we automatically, through an auto cache or smart offline capability, as we call it, we automatically synchronize the matters and the documents that you've been working with, so you automatically have those available whenever you go to file open in Microsoft Word. So if you're disconnected, your experience doesn't change. You just simply go to your offline recent documents, your offline recent matters, access your content, work offline exactly as you would online, and then when you're back online, it'll automatically synchronize, and it's all baked right into the product. With all this great stuff that we've done for the end users, we can't forget about our iManage administrators. One thing we've been asked about, or at least me personally over the years, is when are you going to update your administrative tools? Your tools haven't changed, and I can attest to that. I started with the company in 2001, and the tools that ship with the product or have been shipping with the product pretty much look exactly as they did when I started all those years ago. iManage Control Center, which we originally released with our Work 9.5 release last fall, totally changes that. This is a completely new administrative user experience. It allows you to do all of the things that you previously might have done in DB admin, but it also brings in lots of functionality from other tools as well and combines it all now in one neat, modern HTML5 administrative user experience. You do things like content management and system monitoring. You also have some new functionality around template management and what we call optional folders, the ability to provide optional folders that users can add to workspaces. Allows you to still provide some level of control while giving them some flexibility. And these are all things that we've done in the iManage Control Center. And March doesn't stop there. We're continuing to build more functionality into it as we move forward. So lots of exciting things happening in the administrative side as well. And if we have time in the demo today, I'm going to spend a few minutes showing you this as well. So moving laterally just a bit and looking at external collaboration. Collaboration is something that we've always supported our iManage solution, originally through what was called our Worksite Web Components. But when we introduced what's called iManage Share a few years ago, this really changed the game. What Share is it's our cloud-based collaborative solution. It allows you to take information from iManage and push it out to the iManage public cloud and easily share it with external parties securely. And what distinguishes iManage Share from other products like maybe Citrix ShareFile or Dropbox or Box.net is the level of integration and the tightness of integration that we have with the iManage solution. Hands obviously the most tightly integrated because it's iManage to iManage. I want some time looking at this in the demonstration as well. take a couple of minutes and just talk a little bit about what it's like to go from what might be now to iManage Work 10. How to take advantage of all this great stuff I've been talking about. And I know we have existing customers here in session today. Some of you will be running iManage Work 8.5. Some of you may even be earlier than that. So how do you get from there to here? Well, where you want to get is you want to get to that full experience that I was just talking about. You want to have that great, responsive, mobile-first, modern user experience that I was talking about available to all your end users. Starting here, you might be on 8.5, you're running desk side or file side, maybe both. You may have some of our older versions of the product. Again, how do you get from where you're at to where you want to be? Well, the first step is to upgrade the platform. So the Work 10 server, you can actually implement that today and not even touch your desktop. So as step one, you can get your back end upgraded. You can even upgrade the servers and put off updating the database for a little while as well. But you can update the back end without having to worry about the client front ends initially. You can get everything done, get it in place, and get that taken care of. What's great about Work 10, though, is that new user experience that I showed you a screenshot of and that I'm going to take you through a demo of, that's part of the iManage server. So even though you don't have to touch desk side and file side and all the classic clients on the desktop, you actually have that new experience available to your end users as soon as you upgrade the servers. It's all based on the server, and that includes access on mobile devices. So it means that even without touching the desktops, you can start to introduce this to your end users. You can tell an attorney, hey, we've got a new solution that you can access from your iPhone. Why don't you go ahead and check it out? And they can do that immediately as soon as you've rolled out Work 10 on the back end. So even though there's maybe .5 on the desktop, they still have access to this new stuff on their phone and get used to it. They start to like it. Then you can do some other interesting things. From an administrative perspective, maybe you're not Matter-centric yet. You can take advantage of Control Center and our flexible folders to ease your path to Matter-centricity, or to use it to improve your Matter-centric structures, because now with flexible folders, you don't have to build out a full workspace structure to begin with. You can introduce something simple and then allow your users to start to build out the structure that they need based on the Matter types and the templates and those flexible folders that you've set up. You might have some of those attorneys that have been using the new experience on their mobile device, on their iPad or their iPhone or their Android device, and they come to you and they say, hey, how does this on the desktop? I'd like to start using this maybe instead of desk side. You say, well, good news. You've already got it. All you have to do is point your browser to it. And then they start to use it on the desktop, and they start to prefer that over classic clients. And so what ends up happening is you sort of take a grassroots approach where users can choose their own path as far as what client they want to use. You don't have to force anything new on them. And by the time they start utilizing that new experience on the desktop, they see it integrated inside of Outlook. They see it integrated inside of Microsoft Office. It's not to the system because it's already been introduced to it on their mobile devices and maybe through their browser or desktop. So this path right here that I've outlined is really unique. We haven't had something like this before. It's pretty much always been a big bang for iManage in the past. They have been able to delay updating clients for a little while, but still there comes a point when you've got to upgrade everybody, get them trained, and get them using the new version. Now you can ease into it with the new experience. And if you have some users who say, nope, I want my old desk side, I want my file side, I don't want to change, not a problem. They can stay on that. We still support that, no issue. They can coexist side by side. But this is your path. And of course, if you want to go into more detail on this, we're happy to have a conversation with you. And the folks at ICS are very knowledgeable in everything I'm talking about here, so we can certainly go deeper into that at a future time. Okay. Shift gears a little bit and talk about the iManage Cloud. Cloud curious, as I like to say, meaning that you consider the cloud, maybe you're using the cloud for some of your applications, but why iManage Cloud? Why take everything that you've got on premises and move it to the iManage Cloud? Well, There's lots of reasons, and the iManage cloud is very much a modern cloud. We built our cloud from the ground up since we split from HP. It's unrivaled as far as the technology that we use and as far as the reliability numbers that we have. But all that said, why is it important to you and why should you consider it? Well, number one, move to the cloud allows you to regain your focus. It allows you to shift from managing servers and services and installations and upgrades, and it instead now allows you to focus on solving real business problems with a solution like iManage. Second reason is best practices. When you implement iManage, when you're working with the folks at ICS, of course, they understand all of the best practices that need to be put in place, and they can help you out, making sure that you get there. Some of you may be doing some of this on your own. So the cloud offers you another option where we handle all that on the back end. We handle taking care of the upgrades. We handle making sure that your configurations are following best practices, and again, allow you to regain that IT focus on solving business problems. The reason for the cloud is financial. You move from capital expenditures to operational expenditures when you go from managing software on premises to moving it to the cloud and paying a subscription. So from a financial standpoint, again, it can make a lot of sense moving from CapEx to OpEx. So just some things to consider. Okay. So with that said, I think what we'll do now is we're going to go ahead and take a look at the demo. I'm going to switch over. That little slide I showed you there is our finish-off slide, where I'll turn things back over to Ted here at the end of the session. But I'll spend the next 15-20 minutes here with the product, and then we'll go ahead and we'll open it up for some questions. So this is it. This is iManage Work 10. I went ahead and logged in here, and as you might remember from the screenshot, what you're looking at here is a very simplified user experience. This is different from what you might be familiar with Site or FileSite. Notice that when I come in here, it's allowing me to just pick up right where I left off. I see my recent documents that I've been working on. I see them in a timeline view. I see all the stuff I've been working on today, and I scroll back in time. I can see things from last week. I can go back further, the week before last month, and so forth. And we have the ability now to page through all of these documents. So unlike your cloud document work list, you're not limited to 40 documents. You've got a timeline that could go back to 40,000 documents. And you can simply page through with the new paging that we have available. If you look at the filter that we have along the side here, they're very intuitive. So think in terms of Amazon.com. If you're going on Amazon, you have to know all of the technical details about some specific item that you're searching for. And gives you filters that are just very intuitive. It allows you to filter by vendor. It allows you to filter by price range. It might allow you to filter by color or style or something like that. Things that are common to everyone, and that's what we've done here. And the first one is activity. Watch lawyers utilize iManage. The way they really think, they think, okay, I know that this is an agreement that I edited last week. They're not thinking in terms of client and matter and document number and things like that. They may be, and that may be in the back of their mind. But really thinking, okay, it's a Word document. I know I worked on it last week. I had this word in it, and I edited it, or I printed it, or it was one that I emailed to someone. The activities allow you to focus on the way that you work. So if I see those things that I've recently edited, I could deselect view, and now I'm just seeing documents that I've edited. And again, date range, I can look at just the things I've been working on today or within the last week. Just want to see those PDFs that I've recently been working on, or focus on the Word documents. Again, the filters are very intuitive here based on the way that we normally think. Now, we still need the ability to search. We want to deep into the system and find things. And search has gotten a big improvement in Work 10. So I come up here to the search bar. It's right here at the top and center, as I like to say, for the word agreement. But before on the search, notice that the system is smart. Remember, I mentioned that earlier in the presentation. And what that is that it anticipates what I might be looking for. So as I was searching for the word agreement, that could be in the title of the document, it could be in the keyword, where you actually want to search. And if I want to do a keyword search, all I have to do is go ahead and tap on that. Now it's searched across the system and returned all those documents containing that as a keyword. Now you also notice that the search is personalized. That's what's highlighted here. What that means is that all of these documents belong to clients and matters that I've recently been working on. You may have looked at the filters that I had here and said, yeah, but I want to be able to filter by client and matter because I want to make sure the documents belong to the matter that I was recently working on. Well, search is doing that for you automatically because personalizing it, we're ensuring that everything that you're looking at belongs to the clients and matters that you have been working on. So it sort of obviates the need for you to do that filtering by client matter. Now, if you want to search across the entire system, all you have to do is click all. Maybe Ted needs me to work on an agreement that I haven't even looked at that belongs to a matter he's been working on. Well, click on all. Notice how many more results I get because now I'm going system-wide. But the default is personalized. That keeps this focused and relevant on the things that you've been working on and allows you to sort of tune out the noise, if you will. You may be looking at this and say, well, this is great. This is a very simplified user experience. It's very clean, but where's all my other information? Where do I see the different versions of the document? How do I see a preview? I see its profile information. I used to have all that at the bottom, right there on the screen. I could just go through the tabs. Well, it's still here. It's just available when you need it. This is what I call elective disclosure. It's the ability for a user to see the information they want to see when they see it and to hide it when they don't. So when I see some of that information, I just go ahead and pop it out, and here's my profile. I can see all the profile information on this. I can see the document, the class. I can go here to the bottom and see the client matter. I can even see more information by clicking Show More here. And pull down. Maybe I want to change the jurisdiction here on this. I could just simply go in here, type in a change, and now I've updated the profile. Assuming I have rights to do that, I've done it right here in line. One of the documents has multiple versions. We can click on this one here. We can see all those versions listed right here. So just as you could in the classic clients, you can see all of the versions and actions that you can take on any of those versions right here from within the main user experience. And then finally, we have an inline preview. WordPad has a complete new way of previewing documents. We run these documents on the server side and then deliver them to you a few pages at a time. That's a much more efficient way of previewing documents than what we did in the classic clients. In the classic clients, you had to download the entire document to your desktop, and then your desktop had to do the work to actually read it for you. If it was a 500-page document, you had to wait for the whole thing to download before you could see it. Now just take a few pages at a time, render them on the server side, and then deliver it to the desktop. So it's really efficient. And if I go ahead and click through here, you'll notice that we're not loading the pages till we get to it. Now you look at this and say, well, that's great, but I can't read that. That's pretty small. Well, these documents are all rendered on the desktop as an SVG format, scale vector graphics. And the reason it's important is because with SVG, I can zoom in to about any level, and it won't pixelate. It won't get fuzzy. It keeps a nice crisp preview. So if I'm on a mobile device riding in a taxi cab, I can just use my fingers to zoom in here. I can pan around. I can go ahead and zoom back out a little bit, and I get a nice high fidelity preview right there within the window. Now if I document and go full screen with it, I can do that with a tap. Takes out, brings me into the full screen preview, and I can do some other interesting things like search within the document. Maybe I search for the asset. Not only get all my hits highlighted, but I have a nice little listing here along the left-hand side that allows me to tab through the document and see all of the different areas in the document where that hit actually is. And so we have a full toolbar here. It allows me to perform functions on the document. I edit the document from here, which I'll show you in just a moment. I can download a read-only copy. I share the document from here. If I can click share, what that will do is it'll allow me to share this document in an email. If I have Outlook installed locally, it'll allow me to send it through Outlook. If I happen to be on a mobile device like my iPhone or my tablet, it just goes ahead and does it through the web client. So I still have the ability to send it, and I don't lose any functionality just because I'm on a mobile device. One of the things I really like about Work 10, though, and you may remember in the presentation, I talked about document journaling and document timeline, the visual history, and that's what we're looking at here. You may be familiar with document history or the audit trail on a document, showing everything that's been done to a document, who did it, when they did it, and so forth. Well, 10, you now can see it visually. So this allows me to come in, for example, and say, okay, show me all the times that this document was emailed over the past week. And now I can see visually that it was emailed 3 times on the 19th, 1 time on the 18th, and then again on the 21st. And I can even see who did it. Save here were to say to me, hey, Scott, I need you to take a look at that talk.com agreement. I think I'm looking at the right one. How do I know? He says, well, I know, but it was the one that I emailed on the 21st. Now I can come in here and I can validate that because I can see right here on the 21st that Dave did indeed email that document at that point in time. So it's a great way to validate based on activity. So over here to the main screen. And the first thing that I glossed over here was edit. And that's what you're really interested in. You're saying, well, this is all great, but how do I actually edit my work product? I need to go ahead and open this and make some changes. Well, just a tap. That'll go ahead now and open up the document right here in its native application. So this is a Word document. It opens up in Microsoft Word, and in Word 10, we've got all the same integration that you had in the classic clients, but it gets that complete Word 10 overhaul. It's more lightweight, it's using the new RESTful API, it's easier to deploy, and you have some great new functionalities. So, for example, if I go in and make some changes here, we'll go ahead and let's just go ahead and change this guy's address here. I can go back, save and sync. What it does is it not only saves the document, but it synchronizes it back to the server. So why is that important? Well, in the classic clients, everything stays on the desktop. Nothing goes back to the server until you close the document and check it back in. So I'm working on a document. I've been working on it for the last 4 hours. Ted doesn't have any idea what I've done, except for the fact that I've checked it out. It's not until I check it in that he'll see those changes. Now with save and sync, he can see that immediately. So it's a good improvement from a collaborative standpoint. Some other neat things you can do, if you want to go ahead and save this, or I should say if you want to go ahead and see some of the activities on this document, I have the same access to this information here in Word I showed you over in the main client. So for example, I can document timeline. Come in here and I can see all the times this document was edited or emailed over the past week, and I can see that now right here within Microsoft Word. I have profile information all displayed in that new work tile. Let's see all the individual versions of a document listed right here. And what's nice about this is that if I want to now go back and compare version 33 to version 32, I can go ahead and tap on that, select compare, go ahead and bring up, in this case, Word's native compare feature to allow you to run that comparison right here. And of course, you integrate with other third-party comparison tools like WordShare and Latera and DocsCorp, etc. Finally, I might want to finalize this document by rendering it to a PDF. So I'll go and tap Save as PDF here. Brings up Word's native PDF rendering capability. And I've got the option, of course, to bring it in as a new version or a new document. I'm going to save this as a new document. So when I click OK, brings dialog here that's now allowing me to save this new PDF into iManage. And notice that here within Microsoft Office, within the integration, we have the exact same look and feel as we had over in the web browser or on a mobile device. This allows me to come into my matters, for example. I can see all my recent matters that I've been working on. Maybe I want to go ahead and do a search. We'll go ahead and do a search for Aladdin. This is my Aladdin Corp acquisition matter where I've been working. I can go ahead and tap on that. I'll go ahead to the agreements folder, and as easy as that, this document will inherit the profile information and security, and it'll save right into that location as a new PDF. So the point here is that not only do you have full functionality to edit and work with your documents, but you have the same exact look and feel within Microsoft Office as you do within the web client or anywhere else. Okay. What I'm going to do here, let's go ahead and take a step back over here to the web client. And I want to shift gears a little bit and touch a little bit on external collaboration. Now, I took you through some of the basics of the web client, took you through basics of the Office integration. If I wanted to take one of these documents in the Aladdin Corp acquisition and make it available externally, I can do it with iManage Share. So when I come in here, what you notice is that I have a lot of yellow folders here. Those are regular iManage folders. And right at the top, I have a blue folder. The blue folder is the iManage Share folder. It lives in the iManage cloud. It works like any other folder, but it lives in the cloud. So I take any document and easily push it into the blue folder and make it externally available. So if I want to pick one of these documents here, for example, that purchase agreement that I just rendered, I simply go ahead and say publish to iManage Share. That'll go now, allow sign into iManage Share. And I can go ahead now and publish it directly out to iManage Share. And when that external party that to access that, they have the ability to log into iManage Share through iManage Share's web user experience. And when they do, and those blue folders that has been shared with them will now be visible right here within their home screen iManage Share. So that purchase agreement that I just put out there is now available to any external party to access through the internet. They can do it securely in this case, since they'll be actually authenticating into iManage Share, which means that if they were to come in here, click on the document and view it, I have a complete audit trail and I have complete visibility into everything they did when they're accessing that content through the iManage Cloud. So again, its Share integration allows you to not only see all that content that's been pushed to the cloud, interact with it very easily. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm going to switch over here to Microsoft Outlook. And about a few things here, but to finish off the discussion of iManage Share, sometimes when we're collaborating externally, I showed you how to do it from the main user experience, but the way we normally do it is we send an attachment, don't we? We do a document from iManage, we download it to our desktop, we attach it to an email, we send it out. So for users that want to do that, they still can. They could get in here, they could compose a new email to their external party. I'll go ahead and send this to my colleague Fred. And what I'll do here is I'm going to insert an iManage document, again with that same Work 10 user experience that you saw before. I'll go ahead and select that same PDF that we were working with, and that now attaches it to my email. And note I have this button up here that says Send with iManage Share. If I click that, this is now allowing me to do that same thing that I showed you in the web client right here from within Outlook. So it's right within the workflow where you would normally be sending something externally. And what you see here is you have a couple of options. The first option is seeing this as a secure link. Now, a secure link is great because a secure link allows you to send someone a link to a document in iManage Share without them having to log in. They have to have an account. They access it anonymously. And the reason it's secure is because you can set a password on it. If I go ahead and set a password and an expiration, let's say I want it to expire maybe next Monday, and a maximum number of downloads, that ensures that this link will be secure because only someone with the password and within the expiration parameters can access that document. So I go ahead and send it anonymously, safely that way. This option is to push document into the blue folder, which is what I showed you before. And all I have to do in that case is go ahead and select the blue folder I want. So we'll go to the Aladdin Corp acquisition, select that blue folder, click OK. And now, if I actually had rights to it from here, it would actually go ahead and add that into the blue folder. And that'll allow me now to go ahead and send that out. So I can go ahead and put that into the blue folder right here from within Outlook. Will go ahead and be available, and anyone with access to iManage Share can go ahead and log in and access that. So go ahead and actually send us out. What will happen here is you see a little blue bar up here. That's the document actually being pushed up to iManage Share. We'll go ahead and send that out. When it comes in, what you have a link that looks like this. So it comes into my inbox here. What your recipient is going to receive is a link that looks like this. They'll go ahead and click on it. If I sent it as a secure link, they'll go ahead and put in the password. And when they do that, they now have the ability to download that document. So again, iManage Share has a number of different touch points, and the main use cases, it allows you to use the blue collaboration folder where users can actually log in and collaborate and upload content. Then you can also send as a secure link, the other use case, which is much simpler, allows to send links that people can access anonymously, still secure with some of the security features that we can set around it. Okay. may have noticed as I came into Outlook here, the elephant in the room is this big iManage work panel over here on the right side. Where did that come from? Well, it came with a little button right here. I can go ahead and hide it, and I don't want it. And then when I do want to see it, I just go ahead and click on it. I have that complete end user experience all embedded right within Outlook. This is really great. This allows me now to see all of my recent matters, all recent documents. If I want to do a search, I can right from here. I can go ahead and now access any of these documents. I can even get a preview of the document right here within Outlook. So if you've got users who want to stay inside of Outlook and do all of their document management activity right from here, they've got the ability to do that right here using the Outlook panel, the iManage panel, I should say, inside of Outlook. Now, the great thing about this allows me to easily file email. And filing email to iManage comes with a few different options. Note that when I've got email here in my inbox, I've got some emails here. I have a little green circle with a check mark. Those emails that have been filed into iManage. And I click on those different emails, we see that there's a value that pops up here in this toolbar. That's the system suggesting where an email might be filed. So if I wanted to click on this email from Dave Olson, for example, and take this suggestion to file it into the correspondence/email folder in Aladdin Corp, all I have to do is tap Quick File, and that'll go ahead and file it. But there's some people that like to do drag and drop. So that's where the Outlook panel comes in. With the Outlook panel, now I can browse into the Aladdin Corp acquisition, correspondence folder, email, and go ahead and select my email from Dave and just drag it right over here to the panel. What's great is that sometimes people like to do this kind of stuff with multiple monitors. An attorney says, well, I want Outlook on one monitor and I want to put my iManage stuff on the other and I want to drag and drop between them. No problem, we can do that. I don't have two monitors here, so I'll have to simulate it. But the point is, I decouple the app from Outlook. I can just simply grab it, drag it out, and pretend that I'm putting this on a second monitor. The point is, it lives over here and Outlook lives over here. So now, if I want to file email between the two, I grab that email, drag it over, and file it. So I can have one on one monitor, Outlook on the other, and go between the two. Okay. So last thing here to talk about with respect to email management is that say, well, this is all great, but I just want to use my regular Outlook folders. I do my own email management in Outlook. I don't need this iManage stuff. Well, because you can give the best of both worlds. What I have the ability to do is take any of these Outlook folders that I may have created and just simply link them to iManage. And again, get that same Word 10 experience that comes up. I'll go ahead and do a matter search for Arrow. I found the Arrow company and acquisition. I'll go select that. I'll go ahead and select the correspondence folder and the email folder. And when I go ahead and hit select, what that's going to do now is link that Outlook folder on my desktop or in my mailbox to this filing location inside of iManage. And as soon as I click OK, notice that the icon changes, and now any emails that I move that Outlook folder will automatically get filed into iManage on the back end very easily, without having to do anything else. So 3 ways of dealing with email: using the suggested filing location, drop in the Outlook panel, including drag and drop between two monitors, and the ability to use the mapped Outlook folders for those folks that prefer to continue doing things the way they've always been doing them. Okay. I know we've gone through quite a bit there fairly quickly. You know, we've got 1 hour for this presentation, and we're coming up into the last few minutes here. What I did want to show you very quickly, because I did promise at the beginning, was just a quick peek at iManage Control Center. We'll spend a few minutes at this, and then we'll go ahead and open it up to questions here in just a few minutes. But as I said in my presentation, Control Center is the new administrative user experience for iManage. This is where admins now can come in and do what they need to do. It's laid out very logically. You've got the sidebar here allows you to perform all the different functions that you need. Basic user management. It's going to make me log in here again. So basic user management. Let's go ahead and log in as my admin guy here. pretty much consistent with what you're able to do in DB admin today, just a better experience. So I can come in here, I can new users, manage users, and so forth. Groups and roles, of course, all of that capability is there as well. You do send reports now inside of iManage. So if you want to produce an active user report or a workspace report, you have the ability to do that. And we're continually creating new reports, in the system as time goes on. One of the other things is, as I was saying during my presentation, is to do template management and manage optional folders. So what I'm done here is I'm going into my template section. If you might recall, if you're an iManage customer, templates used to have to be managed exclusively through Worksite Web. You had to go into Worksite Web, and that was where you created templates. Templates now be managed completely inside of iManage Control Center. And if I drill down into one of my templates here, I'm going to go ahead and pick the relation template. You'll see I've got a set of folders here. And if we look at some of these folders, notice that they have a setting here. Folder can be required or it can be optional. When I specify a folder as optional, what that does is that doesn't create that folder at the time that the workspace is created, but gives users the ability to optionally add it if they wanted it. So imagine a scenario where you very quickly roll out workspaces for a practice group. You don't know what the workspace structure should look like. You can't get consensus. So your template just has documents and email. But then in the meantime, you create a bunch of optional folders. Now your end users, your attorneys, can actually go in there and say, well, I also need, a correspondence folder. I need a depositions folder, or I need, a files or for external distribution folder. You can add these folders optionally as they need them, but you're still maintaining control over the structure and the metadata because you've set them up optionally as part of the template. Optional folders, again, are a great way if you're to do a matter-centric redesign or looking to matter-centric for the first time. Solution as far as that goes. The last thing I'll leave you with here is we have the ability to do some client setup and management through Control Center as well. You can customize the solution. The web client that I showed you had the iManage logo. You can replace that with your own firm logo. And if you happen to be using that great user experience that I showed you here in the demo on a mobile device, you've got the ability to manage the configuration files and control what users can do in the application through a simple config file. So if you want to control your users' ability to download content or print or use AirDrop or email content, you can control settings here. Email config file, they launch the config file, it automatically sets up their client, and you can enforce some of these data loss prevention capabilities. If you're not already doing so through a mobile device management platform, you can go right here through the server through a configuration file. That concludes what I wanted to cover. We're coming down into the last 4 minutes here or so. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and turn it back over to Ted to close us out. And then I think if we have some time, we can probably take some questions here as well. So Ted, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to you at this point.
Thanks. Great presentation. I appreciate it. And you just, you revitalized the reason why we've been such great partners so long. Thanks for all that information. There is one question that has been addressed, at least up on the board. Deborah's asked if we can default all emails to send secure.
Yes, you can. You've got the ability to do that. That's a setting that you can enforce pretty easily on the client side. And you can so far as to require a minimum password length and even default some of the settings itself.
Okay. I'll give her a minute if there's any other questions. Should that we have
in the chat box. Just open the chat box.
Thank you. Let's see. From Jennifer, documents still checked out and checked in, being worked at. How's it change with the save and sync functionality?
It doesn't change at all. The check-in and check-out still works exactly the same way. What the save and sync is doing is it's essentially checking the document back in and checking it back out really quickly. So it's like it's doing a check-in, check-out all in one action. But the fundamental basic check-in and check-out don't change. Work 10.
Okay, iManage extract product. Are there any upcoming presentations on that?
There certainly are. You know, that's been the Raven technology has been a big topic for us. We originally introduced everything at our Connect Live event in the spring. A bit about it at ILTA. No doubt there will be more presentations coming. I don't have any exact information on dates, but you can look forward to more information on that and what we might be presenting to our user base. Also, I would encourage customers, if it is something you're interested in, do reach out to your local sales rep. iManage sales rep will be happy to arrange a one-on-one presentation by our Raven team, and they can simply show you the extract product and answer any questions that you have.
I heard the Raven product at the last partner conference, and it's truly amazing. Powerful stuff. Last was just what options for attachments in email and saving in multiple folders.
We ran a little bit short on time on some of what I was showing there, but you certainly have the ability to attach multiple iManage documents to an email. You can also drag and drop those attachments from the Outlook panel directly from iManage over to your new email, and you can file or you can attach multiple emails or multiple documents, I should say, to your email in that scenario.
Great. I don't see any other questions, and it's actually coming right up on our hour. Joyce had mentioned in the chat, I think, we will be providing recording as well copies of the slides and Slack in a follow-up email. Thanking you for your participation today. If you at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is up there, or to sales@innovativecomp.com, or any one of the iManage folks. I know you have one or two invitations from Joyce over time, and she'd be happy to reroute any kind of questions or any questions they have to the right people. Again, thank you all so much for joining. We appreciate your time. We realize it's valuable to you, and you too are very valuable to us. So thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.